and welcome back for another video here on my little channel. I thought it has been a very long time since I last casted some of my sculpts and actually got to paint them. So today we're gonna paint some of my Halloween sculpts. But before we can do that, we first need to make some molds out of the clay sculpts. As you can see here, the mold making process is very simple. I am just mixing my part A and B in equal amounts. And in case you haven't seen my last videos where I've been sculpting these Halloween friends, or maybe you're just interested in seeing how I'm sculpting them, feel free to find some of the previous videos and check that out. Today I'm also gonna use my vacuum chamber. Normally I will just let the silicone degas on its own, but I thought since I am making molds so often now that maybe I should start using this one. I actually had it for many years, but the first time I tried it out, I didn't really understand how I was supposed to use it, and the type of silicone I used back then had a cure time with only 2 hours, which meant that when I used this vacuum chamber for 20 minutes, I basically lost all of the work time I had with the silicone, and therefore I thought it wasn't really working. But now I know so much more about silicone, and the type of silicone I will be using today has a cure time with 4 hours, so I should have longer work time. And today is actually the first time I'm trying out this new type of silicone. This one is called Dragon Skin, and I'm really excited to see how that is different from the one I've been using previously, which is sort of clear. It's not that I wasn't happy with sort of clear, but dragon skin should be way more durable, and this way my molds will last longer. When I'm choosing my type of silicone, there is 2 things I'm looking for. It is that I want it to be clear, so when I'm casting I can see if there's any air bubbles in it, and I also want it to cure pretty fast because I am impatient and sometimes I'm making the mold and I want to cast later in that day. After a few hours, all of the molds had completely cured, and if you're interested in any more details about how I make these molds, I have made a video about it, which I will be linking in the description. I was also gonna make a mold out of my little pumpkin cat, but unfortunately I forgot to put something heavy on top of the mold, so some of the silicone spilled out. Luckily that's a very quick fix, but unfortunately I will not be able to use this mold for this video. But we can still go ahead and cast the little ghost and the pumpkin face. As always, I am using Smoothcast 65D because it cures within 5 minutes, and this way I can make multiple casts very quickly. And again, more information about all of this in the video I am linking in the description. I always think it looks so magical when this resin cures. I know I have sped this footage up, but you can actually see it cure within real time as well. And now comes the really fun part and also slightly addictive, popping out the casts of the mold. Let's go ahead and make one more round so we have some to give to our friends. Because I have so many friends who are way too into Halloween and fall, so I'm sure they will love these. When the casting is done, it's time to paint, and this is really the process where I feel like my sculpts truly comes to life. When I'm sitting and sculpting, I have to imagine how it will look like once it's finished, since the clay is just brown and in no colors. So this is really exciting to see how will the end result turn out. Will it actually look like my vision in my head, or will it have a slightly different look? I really feel like it's been such a great thing for me to start making these videos. I have started sculpting so much more and painting and making all of these small creations, which I just love. I am learning and seeing how I evolve slowly with my skills, and nothing is so satisfying as that. For the last 10 years, my only hobby has been cosplay, and it is still like a big passion to me, but I've been missing having a hobby with no other purpose than it's just fun, and I can take my time learning and growing with it. I really hope you guys are enjoying these videos, because I enjoy so much making them. And in a way, it feels like I'm documenting my journey as I'm becoming better at sculpting and also painting. For me, these small creations have two very different creative parts. First, I of course have to sculpt them, and I feel like that in itself is a completely different skill compared to later when I have to paint them. I am way more comfortable in sculpting than what I am in painting. But since I started making these videos where I have to sit down every week either to sculpt or to paint, I really have seen a big difference in my confidence. Of course, both in sculpting, and I've been talking about that in other videos, but I'm also starting to see it in my painting skills. I have never felt like painting was my strong skill set, but I'm starting to also get some confidence in that as well. It's not like I don't make mistakes anymore. I still have to go back and correct or use some acetone to remove some of the paint, but there's a lot less of corrections I need to make now. I can't wait to see in a few months if I feel like I made even more progress in my painting skills. Even though I know I can fix the small mistakes I make as I'm painting, it is really nerve-wracking to have a camera record when you're trying to paint. Maybe I'm simply just becoming used to the camera being there, or maybe I am actually starting to improve my painting skills. In my cosplay hobby, I have been using an airbrush for many years, and I feel pretty confident with that. But painting small, thin lines has never felt like my strong suit. But as I was painting the mouth for this pumpkin, I realized that I did it in the first take. Usually I have to go back and correct with some of the orange paint, but I was actually happy with the first try. I am thinning out some of the paint I use for the mouth with a bit of water. This way I can create a wash which will go into all of these small lines I have sculpted, and it will give a lot of depth and texture for this pumpkin. If you're like me and enjoys Halloween so much, I hope you had a very nice Halloween and start of the fall so far. Maybe there is something you always do around Halloween, maybe a tradition with friends or just for you. For me, I of course have to decorate my home with all of my little pumpkins and ghosts, but every year my sister and partner and whoever of my friends who wants to join in, they come to my house and I made pumpkin soup, and we will watch over the garden wall and eat a lot of snacks. It is one of my favorite things to do in the year, being all cozy, having cocoa and watching over the garden wall, I never get tired of it. And if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. It is simply just that good that you can rewatch it every year. But if you have any traditions or something you do, please let me know in the comments, because that would be so cozy to hear what you are doing around this time. The pumpkin face is all done and it's so cute, but let's go ahead and also paint the little ghost. But before that, let's have a small cuddle break with Maho. When I am sculpting, I like to make up stories about my little creations. And for this little ghost, I like to imagine that it was on its way home and then it saw this pumpkin and just had to pick it up and bring it home. Maybe when it gets home, it will make it into a lantern and put it in front of its house. I just think that would be such a cute little ghost story. Maybe it will carve the face of the pumpkin face we just painted. Wouldn't that just be full circle? It's really a shame that the mold for the pumpkin cat didn't finish today, so I can't paint it. But don't worry, I will be sculpting some more Halloween things and we will just paint the cat with the others. I am thinking about maybe sculpting a little bat, or maybe give one of my cat faces a witch hat. Let me know if you think that would be a cute idea or if you have any other ideas. After all, we still have a few weeks left of Halloween month. With the little ghost also being finished and Maho snoozing in his favorite chair, I think it would be a good time to finish this video. If you have watched all the way till this point, I really hope you enjoyed this video and I would love to see you in another one. But until then, I hope you have a lovely day.